What's going on, boys? Today we're going to be talking a bit about some interesting stuff. We'll start with a few points of information. Firstly, Big Boss's closest clone was a memetic clone, not a genetic clone. Secondly, I was thinking, if my channel and I am pushed onto a smaller or personal platform on which I know I have zero chance of going anywhere with my videos, would I still make them? The answer was yes, but I wasn't entirely sure why. Well, I have a class ring of one of my maternal uncles who died in a plane crash long before I was born. And between that class ring, which is pretty telling, the symbolism on it, and stories I've heard about him, I have a picture of who he might have been, but I don't know him. And including because people or family always told me we would have gotten along well, I wish I did know him. He was a commercial or corporate pilot. He flew private jets for business people, and then with some deal he worked out with one of his bosses, because back in the 60s or 70s you could do anything, he would use the company jet to charter his own private flights to, I don't remember which islands they were, but they're one of the tourism-y islands, and he would take people down there on these vacations, business people, and he would hang out, and he had a big Great Dane he took everywhere, and he liked motorcycles and all around the star of the family. So of course he dies. And again, despite not really knowing him, I think about him semi-regularly because I think about my maternal grandfather rather regularly, because he is this almost mythological figure representing what any of us might have looked like if we turned out very well, like made it on some level and remained good people inside to the end. And I knew him, but any of my descendants won't. Nobody I describe him to will really know him, and frankly, as the years go on, I'll know him less and less as memories fade. But then you take someone like Patrice O'Neill, whom I am not related to, but because his personality, his insight, his wisdom, his everything, well, not everything, but who he was essentially, was or is captured in hundreds of hours of audio, I feel like I know him. I continue to learn from him. I listen to him constantly. I think about, well, if you watch my videos, you know, his insight, despite his ultimate insight being figure shit out for yourself, be righteous, you can smell him on me. I don't know him, and audio isn't a substitute for the real person, but I feel like I know him, and because he was captured in this way, like a cyberpunk engram, my descendants can know him. Hundreds of years from now, someone could know him. And they probably would know him, or want to know him, because listening to him is enjoyable. It's not just someone droning on, it's someone who is giving you hard-earned life insights in a funny way. And while I've never cared much about legacy, one, ENTJs, the type I research the most and enjoy spending time with most of them seem to care about legacy a whole lot. And I care about memes, essence, and in interesting ways, just for the fun of it, taking advantage of the circumstances life and the times throw at you. I think I would continue making videos, especially across the years, because what you're doing when you make videos like these, and try to make them at least somewhat valuable, you're creating your own engram. That traveling through time rather than through space image has been stuck with me, too. You are throwing forward in time a seed someone in the future could use either to develop themselves using your meme or just to enjoy your meme, you, as purely as anyone can hope to. We're in a unique point in time right now. You can send forward / make available terabytes of yourself. Many male ENTJs I've spoken with have had this clan-like view of the world in which ancestry and heritage are very important. How nice would it be to be able to reflect on your distant ancestors' thoughts directly? Not through stories, not even through memories, but through their thoughts right here. And when you think about making videos with that in mind, many of those self-imposed limiters go away. There's the desire to fit it all in, because you aren't just making videos for an audience of strangers, you're potentially making them for your descendants, for your family, for your great-great-great-grandchildren, who might, either in curiosity or in need, want an outside but inside point of view. Patrice became, in this way, a guiding force, a camaraderie type force for many lost people. Jim, another person who is currently alive but shortly won't be, maybe, is doing the same thing, except he's more archiving the times from a popular point of view and from a fuck doing what other people think you should be doing point of view. And then there's the AI angle, which technically it already does exist. You can create an AI approximation of another person right now. But how different, how much more advanced will it be in 20 years? In 20 years, how closely will an AI be able to approximate you when you feed it hundreds of hours of your unfiltered, unadulterated self? Now, I want to die. I think death is something I want to experience. But playing with consciousness shit. Ignoring ethics on one hand, but also trying to be ethical on the other, giving a version of you the opportunity at a chance of immortality. Memes are what are important. We added the lightning, or the signals, the waves, to the emblem for that reason. Using the times to spread opportunities to know more. Not that any one thing should be known more than any other thing, but creating the opportunity for people to know. That was a really loud stomach rumble. And in my case, or in a video creator's case, it might not even matter that the person or people later on who find you even know your name. That's an interesting corruption or evolution of the memes as they travel through time, like a car wearing on a road. My great-great-great-grandchildren might not know my real name, but they know Skimmerlit, and I wouldn't want it any different. I feel more myself here than I do walking around. It makes me think of that To the Dregs song by Waves, or at least the video, the one cutting together all the very old family photos and videos. You can see them, but you don't know them, and why would you want to if there's nothing to know? It's like trying to send heirlooms forward. At some point, someone's gonna sell the shit because either they don't know the story or they're far enough removed they don't care. But with ideas, especially ideas presented in a way people would want to listen to for any number of reasons, that time travel, consciousness time travel, persists longer. And it doesn't need to persist forever. Everything is going to end at some point. But again, creating yet stranger and more varied opportunities for people to know and develop their own memes. And you see this with books too, right? Even though people right now don't read much, once we reach a point technologically, we can devour large amounts of information instantly. Books are going to become much more relevant again, and those, it's not like there's a specific block saying this is an engram, but those wafts of souls are going to have or experience a resurgence once reading doesn't require reading. You can listen to audiobooks, but it's a different thing when, like that, you've read an entire catalog. With videos or audio, you have the opportunity to become an even better ghost and perhaps be there for your descendants should they ever need you. Maybe down the line, someone is a shitty parent, and that turns that next generation of children off that family line, but then they run into you in your archived digital form and maybe find a reason still to care about where they came from. And if not that, then shit, maybe more reasons not to care about where they came from. That's equally valid. It's more memes, it's more thinking, it's more self-actualizing, more opportunities for it, weirder ones. People do find this stuff interesting. You've watched those videos from the late 1800s, early 1900s that have been colored by AI. People seem fascinated with those. What if you could speak with them? What if they gave you, in their words, their opinions on the media of their day, or where they thought the future was going? There are just so many opportunities afforded to us by our times. Despite how hellish everything is, we have the opportunity to pull some neat shit. And I'm rambling now, but the prospect of sending yourself forward, even if you die, is interesting consciousness shit I want to be involved in. And I'm surprised I hadn't thought of, at least in this way, before, when it's been staring us in our faces this entire time. Especially if you're into the Patrice tapes. Terry Davis talked about this exact thing while he was alive. Briefly and in a different way, but look up Terry A. Davis monkey music. It's a golden tidbit. And in me, this idea inspires me, I hate that word, to keep doing this stuff, because if I had the opportunity to learn from my ancestors the way I learned from Patrice, I would take it in an instant, or at least want it available to me. And the idea of being there for your people, or your people genetically, or your people memetically, down the line, there's purpose to it. The potential to be there for someone the way Patrice has been there for me so many times. Ideas and sentience, personality, support, flying forward through time long after death. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. What do you think about self-archiving in this way? Or even getting an AI involved? Weird shit. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun, in fact, we can do what we're doing right now exactly and give it to somebody far into the future, like a time capsule, because that's a lot of fun. And that's what I'm showing you on this channel, and I look forward to doing these with you guys again in the future.